today's topic is the 10 little lifestyle changes that you can make that will help you get out of back pain. They are not the typical things that I talk about in the program. So they're going to be things that maybe you have not heard from me before. They're small individually, but together, collectively, they have been very effective and had a powerful result in just helping me to get and stay out of back pain. And I'm not going to be talking about core connection and exercises. And I do want to emphasize that that is the most valuable thing to me. I preach about it, right? Getting a better relationship with your core and building up that connection is number one. But we have the path laid out for you in the program, and we have the free trial. And that's my way of introducing core connection. But this is going to be other things. Top 10 things that I do. They're kind of lifestyle changes to help me get and stay out of back pain. All right. So we're going to talk about number one, sit better. And I have a special slide for this one, just listing out all the ways in which I sit better or less. For me, in my personal journey, sitting was the worst thing. It was the thing that caused me pain and stopped me from making progress. We, as a society, tend to sit too much, and the way that we sit is not very good quality. Let's talk about that. Number one, sitting on the floor much more often than I used to. And the floor allows you to sit in so many different ways, and it's almost always going to be active sitting because you don't have a backrest. So active sitting is a healthier way to sit because you are using your muscles in your core, keeping them active rather than having a backrest do the work for you so your core muscles can just shut off. If you can't sit on the floor, I do prefer like a stool, or what I'm sitting on right now is just a box. I'm not going through my day supporting my spine with outside objects. I'm doing it with my muscle. Number two, no couch. Are you kidding me? Yeah, I'm being serious. I do not own a couch, at least in the traditional sense of the word couch. We have a floor couch or a Turkish couch. It just allows you to be a little more natural. I feel that the couch just promotes one of the worst ways of sitting that humans have evolved into. When you are on certain couches, like traditional style couches, there is this encouragement of the body to be like slanted backwards. Let's say you're being pushed backwards by the part you're sitting on. Your body is just going into a massive C curve in this back cushion, and it's encouraging a slouch. Furthermore, when you're on these thick cushions, you don't really have a sense of connection to the surface that you're sitting on. That's why I tend to sit on more of a hard surface. Then when you have that connection, it is more support. It's more push away ability. It's more activation of your muscles, where when you're floating on clouds, your body just doesn't know what to do. It's not a natural environment. We didn't really have that besides floating in water, which is one of the things that didn't make my list today, by the way. The commitment to not own a couch has been incredibly powerful for me. I can't say enough. That one change alone has removed a lot of the problem. This is me sitting on the floor couch. You can lean up against the wall if you want, but there's no real like sinking in and like getting buried in and letting your body just go. Next one is the deep squat. This isn't for everyone, but being able to get your body in shape to be able to rest in a squatting position is a natural human way to sit. Sitting on your heels, resting squat, but you got to work up to it. And that's something that I've done with my body, and it's been helpful. Second half of this list is related to sitting less. So walking calls. I don't really do phone calls without walking. If I'm going to be on the phone, I'm going to be walking. E-bike allows me to drive less, and driving is sitting. In the town that I live in of Santa Barbara, I can bike almost everywhere, so I don't really have to drive anymore. So that's been huge. And, this is costly, but I haven't even had the bike very long, but I'm quickly regaining my investment in saving gas money. And the last one is another thing that has just been a massive change to my life, which is I got a treadmill desk, and I'm not using it right now, but when I keep it in the garage, and when I spend a lot of time working on a computer, and I might as well be walking. So this has been a huge change and really just helped me feel healthier. I actually feel healthier in more ways than just my back or my body, just in general, like been a huge asset to my health to be able to walk and work at a computer at the same time. Standing desks are good, but Standing for long periods is a repetitive issue. It's more about variety of movement and not so much just standing all day long, right? So the treadmill desk is a good example of that. So moving or, having that variety in your body rather than standing. But a standing desk does allow you to kind of shift side to side, be a little more active. And I do prefer that over just sitting. Crawling is something that is a very natural, healthy human movement. I have a 1-year-old son, so it's a great excuse for me to crawl. And crawling more has been a massive improvement to my body and my health. Hanging. I've done a topic on hanging. I've done a YouTube video on hanging and my technique and my style that I recommend for core connection, but is a great way to train the core and decompress the spine. And also, hanging is a very natural thing for humans to do, actually. We used to be much more connected with nature and trees, and it's a skill that we've kind of lost. It's really great for the entire body. So I purposely crossed out stretch. I used to spend hours a day stretching, working on my body when I did not have a solution to back pain. And I have pretty much altogether stopped stretching. I don't really stretch anymore. I've just found it to be more effective to build support for my spine so that the muscles that are chronically tight don't have to tighten up and feel like they need to protect my spine. It's a protective reaction, this chronic muscle tightness. And so if you address the problem, which is providing support and stability for the spine, those muscles actually don't have to tighten up. And so you don't have to stretch them. So the next one is the AI diet. So anti-inflammatory. Inflammation is the root of all disease, all injury, all everything. It's what the body does to react to infection, disease, injury. It's the first thing. It's inflammation. I try to practice an anti-inflammatory diet, not anti-inflammatory drugs like NSAIDs, but this is all food. Fish oil is a food. I prefer cod liver oil, but if that's too weird or sounds too gross for you, then fish oil is a lot more normal person. The general rule I try to follow is eat more green, eat less grain. That's going to be an anti-inflammatory. So grain and sugar and ETOH, which is alcohol, these are all inflammatory foods. So you do less of the problem and more of the solution, which is anti-inflammatory. And then turmeric is another thing that I take as a supplement. Barefoot. It's interesting, but this is helpful for my back because my feet are the connection to the ground. And if I have a healthier connection to the ground, then it actually goes up the chain through my whole body. And I have noticed a difference. I've had foot problems in the past, if you don't know. So strengthening my feet. So some options for you are actually going barefoot. A major improvement I made to my feet was starting to use toe socks, minimalist shoes or barefoot shoes, and then variety. So I do not wear the same pair of footwear like every day. I think that foot variety is very important. So foot health is important for back health. And these are the things that I do for that. PEDs, performance enhancing drugs. So I'm not talking about anything illegal here, but there are things out there that if you can afford to, that cost money that can help your health. So massage, I put massage et al. Because there's all sorts of different types of massage. PRP, platelet-rich plasma. I've spoken about all these things in the past, so we're going to zoom over them. But yeah, it's just a no downside except it costs money way to enhance healing in your body. Prolotherapy is a little bit cheaper, triggers the healing response if you're stuck in a chronic cycle where your body's not actively trying to heal anymore because it's been going on too long. So that can just trigger it. Stem cells, very expensive. I believe that it probably works sometimes for some people, but the research is not consistent. And I think that it's a potential way that you could enhance your healing, but may not work. And then supplements. There are a bunch of things out there that potentially are really good for you. I'm not going to go through a list. I'm not an expert in this, but there's all sorts of things that could improve your health. Number 8, sup. So I have made a lifestyle decision to take up the sport of stand-up paddling because number one, I love the ocean, and then number two, I just love it. But also, I chose this one over something like kayaking or cycling or whatever because it's a super healthy activity. Next one is thoracic. So I didn't know if I could fit thoracic mobility, but really being able to move more from my upper back and my mid back has taken the load off my lower back. So any chance I get, I'm trying to mobilize it, whether it's standing, taking a break from a car ride, getting up from my desk, using a foam roller, whatever. Getting mobility in that thoracic spine has been very helpful to me. This one is definitely a major focus of the program, is helping you get more mobility and motor control of your thoracic spine. All right, and the final one is these weird lines. So I couldn't fit it all, so I made shapes. At any point in my day, if I can be either vertical, as in standing, moving around, or horizontal, meaning laying down, resting, not L-shaped, aka what I'm doing right now, and probably a lot of you are sitting. And that has been a really fantastic general theme of, if I see an opportunity, I'm not going to sit. I'm going to do one of the other two options. I just want to heavily emphasize that none of these things are temporary things. It's going to require permanent change. It's going to require lifestyle change, not just a temporary, oh, I'm going to do this for a little while and then I'll stop. That's like dieting, and dieting doesn't work. And so it applies here with back pain as well. It requires commitment to these changes. That's the most important thing. That's the theme of the program, and all of the solution that I recommend is whatever you choose to do, it's important that you feel like you could stick with it, that you enjoy it, that it actually, you can get pleasure from this change in your life, so much so that it could be part of the new you, that is a person with less or no back pain. We want to be able to build on these improvements to the point where you can go live your best life. That requires commitment, and that requires lifestyle change. We appreciate you here at Core Balance Training for leaning into your health, and we'll see you again next week.